Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing Red Velvet's discography. I'm really excited about this review because people always say that Red Velvet has a perfect discography and there's no skips and all these things. So I've just decided to see how I feel about their music. So just a couple quick disclaimers before we get into this. First of all, I'm only going to be including their main Korean releases, so obviously albums, mini albums, singles, all those kind of things. I'm not going to be including any Japanese songs just for the sake of time, and same thing with SM Stations. I will be reviewing the Irene and Solgi subunit and Wendy's solo on my Twitter. I might include Joy solo, but I don't know yet. Yeah, that's going to be on my Twitter, but not in this actual video. And lastly, this is just my opinion, but we all already know that, so let's get into the video. Starting off with Happiness. Is this my favorite song ever created? No, but it's tolerable. Also, I like the fact that even though this song is really weird, when you first hear it, you get like almost think that it's like a throwaway song or like they just needed some random song for their debut, so they just threw this out there. But once you hear later songs like Zimzalabim, you realize that like this song sets you up for like that weird side of their music. So it feels very intentional and I like that. Be Natural is really nice. It introduces you to their vocals really well. My only like complaint, I guess, is as much as I love Taeyong, I feel like his feature here isn't super necessary. Like, it doesn't take away from the song, but it also doesn't like elevate it in any way. Kind of just there. But I really like that these two singles, like I was kind of mentioning before, they just feel like a very intentional like debut pair. Just like it's like Red Velvet in a nutshell, and I like that. Ice Cream Cake as a mini album was good overall. As for the song itself, I don't really have thoughts. Like, I've literally been hearing it ever since I got into K pop, so it's not like this grand thing of like, oh, I've never heard the song before. Like, I like it, but it's not my favorite thing ever. But I definitely don't hate it. Kind of just there. So, going into the mini album itself, I really didn't expect them to mix their red and velvet concepts so early on. Like, I thought that it would be like if this was a red mini album, all the songs were going to be red. If it was velvet, all the songs were going to be velvet. But I like that there was like very clearly Ice Cream Cake is more of a red song, and then a lot of the B sides are more like velvet. But getting into the songs themselves, I Take It Slow and Something Kind of Crazy sounded a little generic, but I could like hear the second gen influence, which was cool. And Stupid Cupid was kind of like weird. It had like some good parts, but it just fit together a little weirdly. It did give me like SNSD vibes, which was like cool, I guess. It might grow on me later, but for now I'm still on the fence. Um I don't know if this was just me, but some of the songs on here kind of felt like they dragged on. But my favorites were easily Automatic and Candy. I love the R&B influence and just their voices are so gorgeous. I feel like that's in my notes for every single one of these mini albums, but truly they just have amazing voices. Dum Dum is fun. The song itself is really fun. The Michael Jackson rap caught me very off guard though. Like I was just sitting there listening to the song and all of a sudden I heard Michael Jackson and I was very confused. But moving on to the B-sides, Huff and Puff is also really fun and it sort of reminds me of Happiness in a weird way. Campfire and Oh Boy were like they were like good. I liked them. They were just yeah. I was pleasantly surprised by the chorus of Red Dress though. Like I was listening to it like, okay, and then the drop came and I was like, wow, okay. So I really liked that song. Ladies Room was like a nice little city pop moment. I don't know how I feel about the verses, but I really love the chorus of Time Slip. It like reminds me of my everything, yours truly era Ariana Grande. So that was nice. The chorus of Don't You Wait No More is annoying, but I can see how songs like this directly led to groups like Weekly and specifically the song After School that blend like richer vocals with cute concepts. So like I appreciate their contribution to society with that song. Day One has a lot of like Japanese vibes and I like that. Like it just like feels like a Japanese song, it sounds like it. Cool World. Also, it sounds like the older sister of You Better Know. Like at any given moment during Cool World, I was just waiting for You Better Know to break out. I don't know, I guess they just sound similar to me. This album was pretty solid. Not that I'm giving number ratings to any of these other ones, but I would give this one a strong 7. My favorite songs were Dum Dum, Red Dress, Ladies Room, and Cool World. Next is The Velvet. I love One of These Nights. The drop was so unexpected, and the song is so good, so, so beautiful. The chorus of sweet, cool, hot, sweet love, it literally should be illegal to make music this good. It's just so, so good. I liked Light Me Up. First time was okay, but rather than focusing on the song itself, I was just focusing on Solgi's voice. And like, I love her voice so much. I think she's like my favorite voice in the group because I prefer their velvet concepts and she just suits them so perfectly. It just, yeah. Moving on. First time really delivered on like the 90s R&B sound, so I liked that. Rose Scent Breeze is so gorgeous, and I really like that while they do have a more vocal concept, they haven't like overly relied on ballads, because I would say that Rose Scent Breeze is like their first like proper ballad. So yeah, throughout most of it, kind of just felt like standard, nothing special. But in like the tail end, like the third act of the song, it really like took off, and I loved the guitar and just the sound of it felt so rich. Yeah, overall, this mini album has definitely been my favorite from them so far. My favorite songs were One of These Nights and Cool Hot Sweet Love. Russian Roulette is okay. It's definitely not my favorite title track from them, but I don't hate it either. A little wah 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 and Lucky Girl was cute. The rest of the song was meh. Bad Dracula sounds like you put a video game in a blender and made it sound good. I appreciate the chaos of that song. Sunny Afternoon was okay. Full sounds like a jingle from a 50s commercial, but not in a good way. Like it feels like I'm having like a nightmare trying to like escape a house. And for some reason, this like one ad on the TV like keeps looping over and over. I don't know, just terrible vibes all around. Some Love is just like a basic EDM summer song. My Dear is easily the best song on this mini album, but I still don't love it. This whole like mini album is just like a strangely sour point in their discography so far. It also could be due to like my personal distaste for red concepts, but just it wasn't driving with me at all. Rookie itself is a nice song, but the tail end of it is really annoying, so I don't really see myself listening to this song a bunch. I really like Little Little. Happily Ever After is Bad Dracula 2.0, but slightly better. I could not tell you why it's better, but for some reason it is. I like the bridge. I've heard Talk to Me before, but this time around I love it. So, yeah. Body Talk, from the very beginning, I was interested. And by the end, it became like one of my favorite songs by them. It is so good. There's like this sense of like almost like darkness to it that like I feel like isn't in their other songs. Like even as they do like R&B and B and stuff like that, there's not like this like I don't know, like this like not creeping sense, but there's just something about it that I really like. And it also reminds me of Too Fast by Super M. Like I feel like Body Talk and Too Fast would be like two different racers in a Fast and Furious movie, and they would have like an entire like enemies to lovers plot line. Like I'm seeing the vision. Anyway, um the crowd cheering at the end of the song is also me. So just long story short, I love this song. I'm shocked that Last Love is almost 5 minutes, considering that this is K-pop, and a lot of times I feel like 3.5 minutes is like where we're like living when it comes to song length. But the 5 minute range is like wow. It's kind of a standard ballad, nothing too special, but their voices sound so pretty. I mean, this is Red Velvet. What do we expect at this point? We know what we're getting into. This is probably my favorite mini album from them so far. All of the B-sides were so good. It completely made up for whatever was going on during Russian Roulette. My favorite songs were Body Talk, Little Little, Talk to Me, and Happily Ever After. Moving on to the Red Summer. Red flavor is obviously iconic. We already know this. But it's weird how similar it is to Happiness considering how different their receptions are among fans. Like this song actually it like is very much in the same vein as Happiness, but fans and non-fans alike love this song, but most people are like, ew, Happiness is weird, get that away from me. So I find that interesting. Moving on to the B-sides, I love You Better Know. It makes me sad for some reason though. I think it just because it sounds very 2015, so it like tickles that like nostalgia part of my brain. Anyway, Zoo is not nearly as bad as I expected. Like the verses are really like tolerable, and the only parts I don't really care for are the drop and Solgi's like weird mating call animal noises thing. I just didn't like that. However, I would still listen to this before listening to half of the songs on Russian Roulette, so that's a plus. This is not a Russian Roulette hate video, but it also is. I like Mojito a lot. It has a really nice vibe that I feel like we haven't gotten out of a lot of their music. I don't know what that vibe is specifically, but something about it feels really like new and fresh, and I like it. Here the Sea is a super cute title. It's just a very cute song. And I love that how this mini slowly became more velvety overall while still like fitting the theme of summer. You guys already know at this point that I love summery songs and mini albums that don't go for that like manufactured in your face Target ad summery bright feel that like can still capture like a summery sound while like going for something a little more chill. So yeah, my favorite songs on this were You Better Know and Mojito. Moving on to The Perfect Velvet. Peekaboo is cool. I think the song is a lot better than I give it credit for being, so there's that. Moving on to the B-sides. Look really delivered on the city pop vibe. I don't really like the chorus though, but yeah. It almost has the vibe of like a hiiii era Luna B-side, which is a good thing. So yeah. I've always liked Kingdom Come. My second date is weird, but I sort of like it. Attaboy is also weird. It reminds me of a Cheer Up era Twice song. I like Perfect 10. About Love is nice, but it's not my favorite thing ever. Moonlight Melody has a beautiful title. Overall, I like this album. I like it a lot more than their first one. So yeah, it's pretty good. My favorite songs were Look, I Just, and Perfect 10. Hold on. For some reason, I did not mention I Just in here, but I am now currently obsessed with I Just, and I feel like that's actually a lot of people's favorite Red Velvet B-side, and honestly, I think it might be mine too. Very good song. Definitely like my favorite. Bad Boy is one of the best K-pop songs ever. Like it's not up for debate. No questions, ifs, ands, or buts. It just is. I know that a lot of like actual Red Velvet fans have like their gripes with this because like it brought in a lot of like new fans, particularly like boy group stans, and I like get away from Red Velvet. But this song is so good. Moving on to the B-sides. Alright is cool. It simultaneously reminds me of like a summer day at the beach and a night in the city. So I just really like it for that. And like the instrumental break was very like video gamey, so I liked that. And the glitter sounds in Time to Love are so pretty. I really like this repackage. All of the new songs are good, but my particular favorites were Bad Boy and Time to Love. Next up is Summer Magic. I love how much video game influence is in Power Up, and I think just a lot of these songs, but yeah, it just sounds really like fun and cute. And like, yeah, this is like a happy summery song, but I don't hate it. Like nothing about it feels like over the top or excessive. So I really like it. Moving on to the B-sides, the rap in With You sounds like it was done by Chaeyoung of Twice, so there's that. I like the chorus of the song as well. Speaking of choruses, the chorus of Mr. E really caught me off guard, but in like a good way. I like the Oea part of Mosquito. This is their first song that gives me 2000s vibe, which is like surprising because they've done a lot of like R&B and stuff like that, but none of them have like made me think of the 2000s. So I like this song for that reason. Hit the Drum was there. I think it's more definitely more of like a concert song and it's more fun in the moment. Wendy's high note in the bridge was really nice though. I like the ending of Blue Lemonade, and Bad Boy is just as incredible in English. This mini album was kind of weird, but I appreciated it. I think this was definitely my favorite of their like Velvet mini albums. Not Velvet, Red, you know what I mean. Of their Red mini albums because it doesn't just like go for like it's not just weird or just cute. It's sort of like cute and weird, but in like the more techno electronic video game sound. So I really liked that. My favorite songs were Mystery, Mosquito, and Power Up. Moving on to RBB, I like the layers in the song. It's just really like It has a lot of depth and it's complex and it's very fun to listen to. On to the B-sides. Butterflies is really cute, and I know that the song came out before In and Out, but they sound really similar, so you can see how one influenced the other. It also has some nice racer vibes. Um, Sassy Me reminds me a lot of Itzy. The vocal fry in it is kind of annoying though. The rest of the song is pretty good. The Roblox oof sound in the beginning of Taste was unexpected. I like the sound and melody of Taste, but it would be a lot better if they didn't say Taste 10 times in the chorus. It would make it just a lot more like listenable and like palatable. But I liked this mini album. My favorite song from it was So Good. The Reve Festival, day one. I don't know if something is wrong with me, but I have always loved Zimzalabim. Like since the second I first heard it, I was hooked. But this song, again, another instance of like seeing the continuation of like the happiness, like weird sort of sound. So yeah, um, I just really like this song. I don't know, it's weird, it's funky, and it shouldn't be as good as it is, but it is. Moving on to the B-sides, I've always loved Sunny Side Up. Milkshake is nice. It kind of gives like Twice vibes. Bing Bing feels like a more mature version of their earlier like weird stuff. I also like the race car vibes of it. I really like the chorus of Parade. LP is really good. It like sounds like elevator music, but really good elevator music. And I also appreciate the saxophone in it a lot. This is a nice start to the Reve Festival series. My favorite song from this mini album was LP. All right, moving on to the Reve Festival Day 2. Oh, Oompa Oompa, this song, even for as weird as Zimzalabim is, I would say that Oompa Oompa is hated more than it, which is almost ironic, but I just think that following up Zimzalabim would be hard just in any sense. So the fact that they followed it up with something so not Zimzalabim made people hate it that much more. But I think this song does not deserve half as much as the hate that it gets. Like there are a lot of really nice moments in the song, like in the second verse. The breakdown is really nice, as well as like the rap and how they like make all the references to themselves. I think that's super cute. So yeah, stop hating Oompa Oompa. It's not as bad as people think it is. And it doesn't have to be something revolutionary. It's just like a cute little summer song. Like it serves its purpose. Moving on to the B-sides, Carpool is cute. Love is the Way sounded exactly like Carpool, so it just felt like I was listening to a really long version of the same song. It was kind of weird. Um, Jumpin' has a nice chorus, and Ladies Night is giving like the whole city pop vibe, so I liked that. And Eyes Locked, Hands Locked was definitely my favorite song. So this is another one of their minis that like slowly transitions into being more Velvet, which I just really like for some reason. My favorite songs were Jumpin' and Eyes Locked, Hands Locked. The Reve Festival finale. Psycho is another one of those songs that is just top tier, incredible, amazing. I really think it's the 2000s vibe. Like it just has that sound to it. I love it so much. In and Out is also so good. Remember Forever is nice. It's more similar to their ballads, but I like it more than a lot of their other ballads. La Rouge is nice as well. My favorites from this repackage were Psycho, In and Out, and Remember Forever. I think this is probably like my favorite repackage for them. It's just really good. Even though it's technically a compilation, details. Overall, it's really good. You get the gist. And here we are. Overall, I really like their discography. Every project has at least one song that I liked. Well, almost. Looking at you, Russian Roulette. I absolutely love their concept, and I really feel like it's allowed them to subvert expectations and not become stagnant. It's like you don't really know what you're getting into until like the concept teasers come out, so you don't know whether it's gonna be a velvet or a red, or even within saying that it's a red or a velvet concept, there's still so much nuance within that. So I really liked that. It does feel like their voices kind of suit the velvet concept better, and that they only really stick with the red concepts because it's more aligned with like the Korean public's taste. I don't know if that's like me, like, I don't know if that's like a reach or whatever, but I don't know, because even with the red concepts, I wouldn't say that they're starting to outgrow it because they haven't done it the same way every time. Like I've kind of mentioned, like every time there's a slightly different angle at which they approach it. So I think there's still like something to be said about the red concepts, but I also just personally like the velvet concepts better. So I don't know. And I know that a lot of people would say that like Girls' Generation is SM's pride and joy, and I would not disagree, but I just think that Red Velvet are not like not nearly as like recognized as they should be. Like I'm not trying to say that they're like underground or underrated or anything, but I think that it's really interesting to like realize just how much they really like represent like SM, which like sounds kind of weird, but like they just represent every like aspect of them, like the weird, the R&B, the mainstream, the outlandish, like everything that SM kind of encapsulates or kind of like stands for, at least all the good things, is like shown within Red Velvet's music. So I just think they're like kind of like the poster children of SM, one of the many, but you get the gist. They really proved to me that having a vocally centered group will get you very far. Like because they have that solid foundation in vocals, they can make anything. So I think that's what's really sustained them more than anything is just having that really solid foundation. And I think they've earned their reputation as having an incredible discography. So thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one.